Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Walking Dead video for today, leading up to the 12th episode for The Walking Dead Season 9. In this one, we're going to give our thoughts on Rotten Tomatoes having The Walking Dead Season 9 scored as the highest rated season yet. Alright, and we'll put the link in the description as per usual, this time to comicbook.com. So we're going to go through this one, Q&As afterwards, but The Walking Dead Season 9 rated as the highest season yet in terms of critiques or review scores. Now, this is not the same as viewership, as we were saying that the last episode before this one, so that'd be episode 10, was actually the lowest rated in terms of viewership, in terms of ratings. So with this one here, we're not talking about viewership in terms of, or rated in terms of viewership. We're talking about rated in terms of what the episode scores are as a cumulative based on Rotten Tomatoes. So they take pretty much everybody's, you get like an aggregate score for basically, a lot of people who submit their reviews for the episodes, and then they kind of compile them together. And it's the highest rated they've done. So it's 93%, topping The Walking Dead Season 5, the previous series best with 89%, surpassing Season 3 and 1, which are both 88%. Now, of course, Season 9 isn't finished just yet. We haven't seen, the rest of the season yet, but most likely it'll probably stay somewhere around 93% or something as things go through to the end here, because we just have the last, 12 through 16. So the next, 5 episodes left? Because we've seen 3 so far of this back half. Season 4, 83%. Season 2, 81%. Season 6, 77%. Season 8, 64%. And Season 7, the lowest rated at 63% fresh. It's strange. So seasons, they've got basically the lowest being Season 7 as the lowest season of The Walking Dead. Season 8 being the next lowest season at 63%. So they had those seasons rated as below average, which is really strange. It's just people really didn't like the Negan stuff with the Saviors. They really didn't. It's really strange to me because you guys know I loved it, but, Season 7 was like, okay, a lot of people were really not happy after that premiere, right? It's like Season 7 started off with a finale, and it kind of messed up the formula for the entire rest of the season, right? So Season 7, I get it. Season 8, a lot of people didn't like that one too. Didn't like how all it turned out. But then Season 6 at 77%, you guys know it's my favorite season. Season 2 at 81%, which, for its time, it was great and everything. Season 4 at 83%, Too Far Gone and all that was really good. And then Season 1 and 3 at 88, so they're tied. Season 3 was really fun. A lot of action. Season 3, really fun stuff. And good stuff from Merle and the Governor and Daryl and everybody, so really like that. Lori and all that, Carl and Judith being born, so all that stuff. And then, so we're going back the other way now to the highest. And then, so Season 5 up until now was the highest rated season in terms of rating scores that there has been. And then, of course, this year itself, Season 9 being the highest rated of the history of the show. So what do we think? I mean, this is a strange one for me because I at no point did I sit here and think to myself, this is the best year of Walking Dead ever. Like, this is the best season they've ever done of The Walking Dead. I never really, I don't know. I mean, of course, Episode 5, Rick's last episode, I have said I think is the best episode of the series. And yeah, it pretty much is. I mean, it's about the perfect ending you could have for Rick. It's even better than I probably could have imagined it to be. Episode 5, Rick's final episode. So that's Season 9. The first 4 episodes I thought were like, yeah, they're good. They're good and everything. And the 4th one at the end is really crazy. So that was a really exciting time for Walking Dead. And then, of course, we get the time skip and things going in this new direction here. The mid-season finale was really good. Mid-season return or premiere was okay. and the last couple episodes for me have been okay to good range, but not incredible for me. But everybody has their own kind of things they like to see. And, if I look through these seasons, one thing that Season 9 and Season 5 have in common is, and also is the same thing that Season 7 and 8 don't have, is that Seasons 5 and Season 9 this year, there's a lot of change throughout those seasons. So Season 5 is really broken down into a lot of different story arcs. You get the start with Terminus, and the hunters and everything, and then you quickly go on from that. They blow by that really quickly, and they go into the stuff in Atlanta with the Grady Memorial, and Dawn Lerner and the cops there, and Beth and Carol. And then you quickly go from that to the back half of Season 5, where you eventually get into Alexandria. So there's a lot of change in that season. And based on the scores, maybe that's the best thing for The Walking Dead, because if you look at Season 9, there's been even more change, with Rick leaving and the all the whispers and everything changed around entirely. And then the seasons that were the lowest rated, based on the aggregate, are the seasons that were the most kind of set in one set of villains, or set with the saviors and set with the war, and then the war went through the whole thing. So it's kind of like the seasons that people tend to prefer the most from Walking Dead, it sounds like to me, are the ones that have the most kind of mini arcs, or the ones that have the most change throughout the years. So the ones that don't stay with a whole storyline for 2 years. It seems like that in a TV series doesn't translate that well. So we'll see how people feel about the Whisperers, and I would assume they're going to be here in Season 10. I would think that's kind of obvious. And how long they use them out of Season 10, whether it be an entire year or a half season or something like that. It does speak to that, and you guys can leave the comments below as well too, whether or not you think that The Walking Dead Season 9 is the best season of the series ever. I'd have to say I don't think it is, but hey, it's cool. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, and this is kind of an aggregate, so it's sort of like an opinion of reviewers, so an aggregate opinion of all the reviewers together, so that's pretty good to go by. And Season 5 was really, really good. Yeah, I did know that it was the highest up until now, but I never really thought about Season 9 being even better than it at this time. Well, we'll see how it ends off. It says, quote, "I was proud from the moment I started working on The Walking Dead. I'm that much prouder to have promoted Angela Kang to showrunner and to step back and tell different stories," Gimple told us. So he's very happy that she's taken over, and I think we all pretty much are saying, like, she's doing an incredible job. Absolutely, and this score would back that up, and he is too, because he's still involved too, right? We try to act like he's not involved at all. He's still very involved, obviously. I think that The Walking Dead is a place where you can find great female voices, great female artists, and stories that honor female characters, not as a novelty, but as an intrinsic story value. In the TV series version, the comic version, not as much. In some ways in the comic version, but the TV series version, I think, has been more female powered or female centric, right? With Carol, and in the comics, Carol died like almost right away, and she committed suicide too. Like it wasn't she wasn't a gloriously powerful character or anything like she is in the TV series. Not at all. So more so in the TV series than the comics. I'll say it that way. In addition to increased roles for its leading actresses and characters, Danai Gurira's Michonne, Melissa McBride's Carol, and Lauren Cohan's Maggie, The Walking Dead has shifted again with the introduction of Alpha, Samantha Morton, and the Whisperers. There's a lot of female, yeah, that's true. A new breed of enemy who disguise themselves within the flesh of walkers. So it really has different emphasis that other seasons have not, and that's to give the audience something new. Gimple said of the show changing hands for the first time since 2013. The pressure, I would imagine, with any show, whether it be this show or 60 Minutes, is after all these years providing some novelty, new stuff, fighting hard to give the audience an experience that they haven't had in 8 years. Going into our 9th season, that's been the big thing, and I think that this incredible writing staff, that this incredible cast has really risen to the occasion, the producers, and it feels great. So That's what he's got to say about that. So I think it's all wins across the board in terms of how they've been able to do. As somebody said in the comments, they said that Angela Kang was handed a flaming shit sandwich, and she managed to turn it into gold, right? Or she made sloppy joes or something out of it. It tasted pretty good, and no one was the wiser, right? So crazy stuff, man. It's fun though. It's good stuff, and I'm happy to hear that for most people, a lot of people are really liking it. They're thinking it's one of the best seasons yet of the show. That's really cool, man. Easy Hunter says, not to hate, but shows like these don't last long, about Whiskey Cavalier. If you guys missed it, I did a review yesterday on Lauren Cohan's new television series, Whiskey Cavalier's premiere. So if you don't like, that type of genre, no problem. Basically, part of that review, we go into kind of whether or not it'll get a second season, whether or not she'll return to The Walking Dead. Obviously, getting to check out that series will give us a good indication of whether or not she'll be back, because if it continues on, then she won't be back. So if you missed the review yesterday for Whiskey Cavalier, it's in the channel now. I'll put it in the end screen videos for you guys after this one, and you can check it out. But for that one, like I said in that video, in the review, I really don't know about that genre, kind of that standard procedural crime drama genre. I don't know, which ones can last for many years, like, Law and Order or SVU or whatever. I don't know. And which ones people don't watch. Like, it's not my genre, so I can't really watch it and say like, oh, this is really good and people are gonna really watch this. I can tell you that for Walking Dead, or for Game of Thrones and stuff like that. Like, okay, this was an awesome episode, and that people are going to come back more after, or at least the same amount of people, right? Pretty much. But for something like that, I really, I don't know. But watch my review, and you can hear all the details of her new show and what it's about and everything like that. Easy Hunter here is saying he does not think it'll get a second season, and maybe it won't. But again, I just don't know for that genre. Maybe it will. Who knows? Who knows, man? Dominic Ambrosio says Enid just moved from Georgia to Los Angeles or LA, so that could be a hint that she might or she might be killed off at the end of the season or head put on a pike, right? So Alpha might kill Enid, right? Oh God, how awful would that be? It's okay, yeah, that's true. It might be a hint. It could be an absolute bloodbath at the end of this freaking season. It's like everybody's gonna die, man. It's gonna be crazy. See how this whole thing goes down, man. It's gonna be nuts. I just can't wait to see the episode 15. That's the big one. That's only like 3.5 weeks away at this point, or a little bit over 3 weeks. It's going to be crazy, man. My math's probably wrong there, right? It's like 4 weeks, right? 12, 13, 14. Okay. Yeah, 15. Okay. Yeah, it's like 4 weeks. Anyway, so maybe she will be killed off, and we'll see. There's got to be a bunch of character deaths, so I would definitely not be against that. The moral pejorative says the marker, so this is talking about the marker now. Also in yesterday's video, if you guys missed it, there's like a symbol behind Ezekiel and Carol as they go by on the road. And so we did a video on that yesterday and got everyone's kind of thoughts on what it means. So we had the moral pejorative who says that it's a marker for the end of a territory. So if the line is on top, that means this is the most line out or the most line of out territory, and you are walking in. If the line is on bottom, it means you're walking out the land. Basically, the line is the line, and the arrow shows the position of the territory in relation to the line. So it's blocked off. So that's one interpretation of it. A lot of people said that's the end of a territory, that kind of thing. And you could be right. The Whispers are all about territory, and you came into our lands, and it's their lands, and that whole thing. So maybe that's the marker. This is the end of your territory. That's our territory, that kind of thing. But I also like the idea that it looks like a stick person without a head, especially because the bottoms of it kind of look like, it almost looks like feet. Look at it. You'll see what I'm saying. Like the points at the end are kind of like, yeah, it's kind of cool. Check it out. Watch the video yesterday if you missed it. Video predictions. Mr. Telemag says, who will speak the most, Daryl or Connie? Right? So who's going to talk more, Daryl or Connie? I'll go with Connie, not. That's funny. XPAMFX816 says, Trev Q&A, of all the characters we've had on the show, who do you think would pose the best chance to defeat Beta in a one-on-one battle to the death or death match? No guns allowed. So no guns, no weapons, hand-to-hand. He says, I would say Abraham could take him. What do you say? I don't know if anybody could, man. One-on-one, No weapons, just hand to hand. Who could take down Beta? I don't know if anyone could. Even like if you go with someone like Morgan or somebody who's really skilled, but that's with a staff, with the bow. Without it, just hand to hand. Geez, man. I mean, Daryl's really tough too, right? Daryl's got to be up there as one of the toughest in the history of the survivors. So we'll see how he fares against Beta. But yeah, I like what you said, Abraham. Abraham's super tough for sure. Michael Cudlitz could kick some ass. Maybe he could take down Beta, but I might still lean towards Beta a little bit. Nothing against Michael Cudlitz, but Abraham. But maybe he could take him. I don't know. He's pretty badass. Negan without the bat? No, I don't think he could. No way, right? Even Negan would be scared of Beta. Let's see, man. Who else do we have? We had Merle. Merle is good because Merle could fight dirty, right? But he's got to have the bayonet. Otherwise, if he's missing a hand, no, he's not gonna be able to do it. So there's not a lot of characters. Rick definitely couldn't, right? Rick's track record for one-on-one fights and stuff is not the greatest. He keeps on being saved by Michonne or people like that when the governor's choking him out and stuff like that. So maybe the governor? No. Maybe if he had both eyes. I don't know. It's tough to say, man. There's a lot of characters show up in The Walking Dead. Who could take down Beta one-on-one in a fight? I'll go with no one. How about that? Beta is the best when it comes down to that. Let's put it that way. Jesus, maybe. Could Jesus take down? Maybe get him with a jumping, spinning kick or something, right? Taekwondo kick to the chin, and he got him. He knocked him out. Oh, Jesus wins. Yeah, I'll go with that. I like to say Jesus could do it. No, probably not. Unbreakable. So technique is great, but then there's like guys that are so big and so strong, it just doesn't matter. Yeah, that's the type of situation we're talking about here. Unbreakable says, I feel like I'm the only one who likes Henry and his relationship with Lydia, and his overall character feels natural. And so for Unbreakable, no, I think there's a good number of us that like Henry, and we like to see his relationship with Lydia, and we think it's good. And when I bring up Carl in comparison, I'm not doing it as a slight on Henry in any way. It's just that basically, it would have been cool to see that with Enid and to see how that whole thing could have worked out. And unfortunately, that's obviously it can't happen. But I think Henry's doing fine, and I like to see it, and I enjoy seeing Henry in the TV series, and I think that he's a fun character. He's a good character, and I like that Carol's kind of taking him in as her kind of surrogate son and everything. So that's cool too, and that Daryl's got to watch over him. So it's all tied in nicely, and I think they've done a good job. But yeah, we all miss seeing Carl too. Just a couple more. Sly Tiger says, Beta is the X-Men villain Apocalypse of The Walking Dead. That's true. He is Apocalypse. You just have to see his hand turn into a giant whisper, a buzzsaw or something, or drill, right? What was the stupid 90s stuff that Apocalypse would? He'd like turn his hand into like drills and saws and all this crazy clamps and all this crazy shit. It's like, how does that even work? Like, it doesn't make sense. Oh, well, 90s comics, nobody cares. We just accept it all. It's like, oh, yeah, he could do that. Yeah, I knew he could do that. Oh, yeah, that's right, he could do it. You didn't know he could do that? Oh, yeah, he could do that. He can turn his hand into a giant drill. And he can be as big as the Empire State Building and all this stuff, too, out of nowhere. Yeah. Daryl's dog, for the last one, says, do you think we will get to see a Beta and Alpha sex scene? So are Beta and Alpha getting frisky with each other in the TV series? I don't know about that. I don't know if they are actually getting busy with each other in the TV series. I'm not sure. I kind of get the sense that Alpha is sort of, maybe he likes her, like maybe Beta kind of likes her, but maybe they're not. Like, they're all about animals and all that stuff too, right? But she's the Alpha, so maybe if they do kind of get together, maybe she's dominant. I don't know. She's the top. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, let's wrap it up with that one, guys. Leave your comments below if you like today's video. Thumb it up below, share favorite, and if you're new and you want to subscribe, bottom left to subscribe. So for this one, see you guys again soon for another. Trev, saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.